Hello students! Today's video will be the first of section 10.5, which is on independent and dependent events. Okay, so to start, we are going to be talking about independent events. So events are independent events if the occurrence of one does not affect the likelihood of the other, okay? So they're two completely different things going on, right? The first thing that happens has no bearing on the second event that happens. Okay, so the way to find the probability of these is by just multiplying the probabilities of these events together. Okay, so the probability of two or more independent events is the probabilities product meaning multiply of the probabilities of the events. So if some event A happens, you would find the probability of that and multiply it by some event B, probability of event B. So let's take a look at an example of this. Okay, so it says you spin the spinner and flip a coin. This should be very familiar to you, as we had the same exact problem multiple times in last homework, okay? Except now we have a much easier way, okay? So in last homework, I made you make a table, or I gave you a table to use, and you use the fact that you can find the probability of these events by finding the number of times it could happen divided by the total. Okay, now we can take the fact that we can just multiply the two, okay? So we first have to find the probability of spinning a prime. Okay, so we know that prime numbers are 2, 3, and 5. One is its own kind of number. It's neither prime nor composite, okay? So there are 5 sections total, so the total goes in the denominator, and 3 of them are prime, okay? Next, we have to find the probability of flipping tails, okay? So there are 2 possibilities, heads or tails. Oops. So that is in the denominator, and there's only 1 tails. Next, you just have to multiply these 2 things together. So 3 over 5 times 1 over 2. With multiplying fractions, you remember you can just multiply across. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 5 times 2 is 10. So the probability of flipping the coin tails and spinning a prime is 3/10. Again, you can do this, multiply the probabilities, because these are independent events. Meaning, if you spin that spinner, it has no bearing on whether or not you are going to flip a tail or a head. Okay, we'll get to some tomorrow, or excuse me, next lesson, where we will talk about dependent events, and you cannot just multiply. Okay? We have 2 examples next. It says, what is the probability of spinning a composite number and flipping a tail? Okay, so next, remember I told you 1 is its own thing, so the only composite number is the 4. So that'll be 1 out of 5 total possibilities. And flipping a tail, again, is 1 out of 2. Multiply across, and you get 1/10. And finally, we need to find the probability of spinning a multiple of 2 and multiply it by the probability of flipping a heads. Okay, so the multiples of 2 we have are 2 and 4. So out of those 5 options, 2 of them are multiples of 2. So we have 2 out of 5 for the probability of spinning a multiple of 2. Multiplied by the probability of flipping heads. You could either get heads or tails, so that's 2 options, and heads is one of them. Multiply across, 2 times 1 is 2, and 5 times 2 is 10. And simplify by dividing the numerator and denominator, and you will get 1/5. Okay, so this video talked about independent events, okay, ones that do not affect the other. You can find the probability of these independent events by multiplying their respective probabilities together.